all done. So today I am getting ready for a big logging job I'm going to be heading to. I'm going to be going back to my dad's property, cutting with my brother. We're going to do a bunch more logging for like 4 or 5 days, and I might even go a third time because there's a lot of trees to cut. But today I'm getting the saws ready. I cut with 4 or 5 different saws while I was there, brought them back, and I haven't sharpened them yet. And I need to get them ready to go for this weekend. So we're going to sharpen some saws today. And I got an email from a company that I did a video with, probably 2 years ago. And the name of the company is EZZDO. Look at that. And they got a hold of me and said, hey, can we use your video for some promotional advertising that we're going to be doing? Can we use a couple clips of it and put a link to it on our website? And I said, yes, but I would like a new one, because this is the one that I had. Worked great. I used it for probably a year. But what happened is the arbor loosened up inside of here, and I couldn't keep the bits tight. And I told him about it, and he says, yeah, that was a problem. We fixed it. We've got new little arbors, or where the chuck goes in here. It's the part that squeezes the shaft on the bit. I think it's called an arbor. And they told me, we will fix that. And I said, well, if you send me a new one, I will gladly let you use my video footage for your channel. And I thought, well, that's great. So the other day, I come out, I got 2 brand new ones. This one here is just like the one that I have here, the old one. And you know, it's a corded version, and it's got the on and off. It's got the variable speed right here you can adjust. And the arbor is different. The chuck is a little different. It's a little different setup. They also sent along with it some of these bits. Now there's a spare one in here. There's a spare little arbor. You can see it right there. I think that's what they're called. Tell me if I'm wrong. This is what I've always called it. It's the chuck with a part that it squeezes onto the shaft. And then there's the 7 32nds, 5 32nds, and I think 3 32nds bits. There's 2 of each. And these are the diamond ones, which work really well. They hold their shape better than the Oregon bits do. But they're nice for like a finishing type of a sharpening. If you've got to take off quite a bit of material, they don't last as long as the ones right here. Like this one, this is a Oregon bit, the gray ones. They work the best as far as taking a lot of material off. But I find that these work really good too. So I got 2 of them, which was nice to see that I got 2 of them, and I didn't even know there was 2 of them because I was going to let Adam use one of them, and I gave him one to use, and he says, hey, did you know that it's cordless? And I did not. So he brought it back to me, and I'm going to try it out. I'm going to do a little video here for you guys. So I just put this one together. It is a 12-volt cordless version, which is really nice. I'm able to take this into woods with me now. Here's how it works. It is got a variable speed here, and it clicks on each setting from 1 to 6. The on and off switch is right here. I did just charge it up. It shows you that it's fully charged, and then you can turn it up all the way to 6, and you can go slower if you want. I generally sharpen at a faster speed, but that is cool. So look at that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one for myself, and then because I just put a new arbor on my old one, I'm going to keep this one. And then I think Adam needs one of these, so I think he's going to get this one. I think he would enjoy having this. So there it is. So yeah, we're going to sharpen these up. Now I've got Dremels, and I've talked about Dremel sharpening. I say Dremel because Dremel is like a name for rotary tools that everybody knows, like facial tissue is Kleenex, but Kleenex is actually a brand. Or like down south, a Coke is all soft drinks, whereas around here we call it pop or soda pop, because there's different kinds of soda, but down south they'll say, what kind of Coke do you want? Do you want a Coke? Do you want a 7-Up? Do you want a root beer? But it's all called Coke for some reason. That's just how they do it. But I've got a small multi-pro here, a little one that I use. I've got the 3000, which has been a great one. I've had this one quite a while. I got another one somewhere stashed here, and then I also have the cordless one. This one here is the Dremel 8100, and this one is a 8-volt, and I would recommend not getting this one. It works, but the 8-volt is just not enough. You need the 12 or something a little more powerful. I can get like 2 sharpenings out of this, and that's it. And it's not very fast either, but it works. I've got the charger for it right here. So this I always keep in my kit when I go, my little box here. This is my box that I have all of my saw stuff. And when I go to cut, this is what I take. I got scrunches and files and bits and tape measures and wedges and tapes, spare chains, all the stuff you need when you go cut. And this just always is in here. And I keep the charger with it too. Duct tape, you gotta have duct tape. And so that's always in there. And I keep, like, you know, grease for the tip of the bar, that kind of stuff. So that's what I keep in there. Safety glasses if I need them. And a couple spare sprockets, screwdrivers, wrenches, stuff like that. I keep my scrunches in here. I got several different ones. So that's what I keep in this kit, and that goes with me whenever I go cutting. And but when I'm here, I've got my little bench here that I can work on. And today we're going to try out the new cordless one. I'm going to try and see how it compares to the new corded one, and try out the new corded one and compare it to the old corded one. So, and again, they all work. It doesn't matter. Any rotary tool will do this. You know, there's lots of different manufacturers that make rotary tools. They all work. Generally, you're going to spend anywhere from $40 to $140, somewhere in that range. Anything that you get that's going to be $50, $60, $70, $80 will all do the same thing that they all do. They work fine. But the EZZDO one is specifically made for electric chainsaw sharpener. And then you can get replacement bits too. I think you can get them by the dozen or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. But there's that. And I got one other thing to show you here. Okay, so here's the little wrench that comes with it, and that's for tightening up the bit. So you tighten it up. And then it's also got a gauge type, a little hole here, so you know what you got. This is the 7/32 hole. It says it right on there if you guys can see it, but it's 7/32. And I was incorrect. The other two sizes, one is a 3/16 and the other one is 5/32. That is the difference in the holes here. And that's what size these bits are that they send with you too. So there, I got that right finally. But there it is. That's the little wrench that comes with it. And the other thing I want to show you is right here. This is the little vise that I have for sale. I've sold, I don't know, a bunch of these, but I use this one all the time. This is mine. It's mounted on a board here. You can see all the oil and filings from sharpening it. And what it does is it's a little aluminum vise. It just drops in like this. You tighten it up, and it holds your saw in place so it doesn't move on you. So that when you're sharpening, you know, you can move your chain back and forth, and everything's real solid. And it's real, and if whether you would hand file or if you use a Dremel or if you know, whatever you're using to sharpen, if you use a rock, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it holds everything really nice and tight. So if you got to work on your chain, take down your rakers, it's just a nice solid platform to work with. And this is my little bitty saw here I got to sharpen up. And we're going to sharpen the other ones up too that are sitting over there. But so this is a little vise. We sell these if you're interested. There it is. It mounts on a board like that. You get a little sticker with it. Works really good. We've got a few left. There's not a lot. I might have a dozen, if that. So if you want one, let me know. But I'll show you how it works here. You can see it's just a little tightening up. And there it goes. It drops right in, and it fits pretty much any saw. Some of them you have to adjust depending on what they've got for dogs. You might have to lift it up a little or drop it down a little. But once you tighten it up, it does not move. And then you got a nice solid platform to work on. So there's that. All right, let's get to sharpening. Okay, so first I want to use the cordless version, because I have not used this yet. I want to try it out. And I did change the bit. This now has the 3/16 bit, which is what is the correct size for this chain. This is the 325 chain, so it's the smaller chainsaw. But most of my saws, other than this one, are all 7/32 bit that I use for the 3/8 chain. And then I also have 404 chain on my big saws, my 3120s, and that's what's also on the processor. It's 404 chain. But I find that using the 7/32 bit, you can see the differences there. The 7/32 bit works just fine on the 404 chain that I have. It is a little different, but I sharpen to the top, and so when I'm sharp and not down on the gullet real far, I kind of bring it up so I'm getting the edge. Because what matters the most, no matter what you've been told, what matters the most is the very tip and the top plate front edge. That's where all the cutting happens. So you want to make sure you get the edge across and the very tip sharp. That's what matters the most. We're going to try this out right now, see what happens. Now this chain isn't terrible. I can see that There's a few little nicks in there. There's a little on that tip there. So it's not terrible. This one's not good, but it's not great either. So the first thing we're going to do is I always take and I mark the tooth I'm starting with, and it just happens to be the one that's got the colored link. Now this has got a yellow link. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's yellow. Sometimes they're a golden or bronze color. Sometimes they're silver. And I don't always mark the tip, but I like to, just because I can see it easier for when I'm starting and ending. Now I turned it on. That is on 1, but we're going to crank it all the way up to 6. And I'm going to turn it off and just explain for a second here. When I sharpen on high all the time, because I don't want to be on there a long time grinding and grinding and grinding. I want to hit it, touch it up, and be done. And I've had people say to me, oh, you're heating that tooth up. It's getting brittle. I've never had a tooth break on me. My teeth are always sharp. My saws cut fantastic. And all I'm doing is just skipping across the edge, and I can sharpen about 4 times as fast with this than I can with a file. So you'll see that in just a minute. We're going to start right over the top of the vise here, and we're going to start, and I sharpen both sides at the same time. We're going to turn it on high power, and it's sharp. It's sharp. It's sharp. Sharp. Little faster than a file, I gotta say. Another thing you gotta realize, in a factory, when they're putting, when they're making chains, what do you think they do for sharpening? Do you think they use a hand file? Probably not. Just saying. There's about a 99.9% chance they're grinding them. Might not be a rotary grinder, but I'm sure they're grinding them to get it to the specs. Yeah, that tip is gone. That's all. And it's not hot. I'm not on it for very long. There's a little bit of smoke you're going to see. That is either going to be sawdust or it's going to be oil that is warming up and it heats up. That's all it is. It doesn't get hot. I'm not on it. It's not like it's glowing when I get done. I don't feel any heat. You just try it without a glove and see. It's warm. That's it. It's just warm. And I just sharpened it. So there you go. So those of you that say I'm making the tooth brittle, you don't know what you're talking about. My guess is you've never tried this, because once you try it, it's a game changer. Let's see, that one. And some guys will say, well, I'm not going to take that out in the woods with me. Well, I don't either. I carry a file with me when I'm cutting out the woods away from my truck. But I keep this by my truck, so when I take a break and I'm going to sharpen my saws, usually I do 2 or 3 at a time. That's what I do. And if you miss it, it's no big deal. You just sharpen it up. But I do use a file to get my rakers or depth gauges. Those I file. Oh my gosh, look at that. That was the last one. We're done. A little bit faster than a hand file. Now I'm going to check these out. They are cat claw sharp. Instantaneous. Yes, that's nice. I can tell. I like it. All right, let's do another one. on. Let's check it out. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, next. Last one. I have them all ready to go. We get this one sharpened. That's a bad tip there. Clean that up so you can see it. There we go. Okay, so I just used the battery version. Now I'm going to use the corded version. This is the old one, and I'm going to see kind of how it compares. One thing I didn't show you guys is this. This is the little recharger dock, I guess. That's what you'd call it for the EZZDO. It's a 1 amp, so it's not going to charge real fast, no doubt about that. So it's just a little guy, but anyway, pretty cool. So this, what I like about this, it is tiny, and look at the difference here. Here's my Dremel charging station. So this is the Dremel one, which is the 8 watt. And this is the EZZDO, which is 12 watts as far as the power. And this one here, it says Dremel, let's see if I can read it here, 1.5 amps in, and this is 1 amp. So this will charge a little faster because it's only an 8 watt. This is a 12, but it's only 1 amp going in. So it's going to, I don't know how much time it would take, but anyway, there it is. I am going to unplug this, and this is going to go right into my case because I have my little battery packs I take with me when I go to the woods. So I'd be able to recharge this no problem in between. Can always slap it on the charger and let it charge while I'm working. So now I'm going to sharpen this one, but I'm going to go kind of the way I normally do. I sharpen from the front. What I just showed you, you saw up close what each tooth looked like. But this one, I'm actually going to go from the front, and I'm going to go much faster, the speed I usually sharpen at. So you get an idea how much faster this is than hand filing. It's not even close. And for those of you that are the critics, the naysayers, the guys who are stuck in a rut, the guys who are traditional, the guys who are the old ways are the best way, fine, you can think that if you want. I don't really care. All I know is that once you try sharpening with a rotary tool, and you don't try more than, you got to try more than just once because it takes a little technique to get it down pat. Once you get the hang of it, it's 10 times easier than hand filing. Physically, emotionally, and technically, it's just way easier. Electricity, they invented it a few years ago, and electricity is a cool thing. You guys should try it because we have evolved a little bit in the last 100 years. We have electricity. We have running water, flush toilets. We have the internet now for you file guys, just saying. This really works easy, works really fast. If you're someone who can't hand file very well, get one of these, just do it. If you're someone that wants to save some time, get one of these, it's faster. If you're someone that wants to do a better job, in my opinion, get one of these. If you're someone that just is not afraid of technology or advancements or electricity, try one of these. Let's get sharpening. So we're ready to go. 3 things you want to do. You want to wear safety glasses, you want earplugs, there's the plugs, and gloves are smart too. If you got a brain, use it. I have cut my hands so many times on change, it's not even funny. So here is how I usually approach it. You guys can see me from here. So I go straight on because what I'm going to do when I sharpen is I'm going to, see if I can get this over the top, I go here, here, here. When I'm sharpening, I will attack this straight on, and it's what seems to work the easiest for me. Let's make sure you guys can see everything. Okay, so I don't want you to miss the show, so I get everything set up right. We're going to mark this tooth. I didn't see an indicator on there as far as a strap that is a different color. And I'm going to turn it on. We're going to go just like this. So I'll start like right here, so I'm almost bumping into it with my stomach. And then I go to the next one. And the next one. And the next one. Yeah, these are pretty dull, I can see. Sharpen it plenty fast, though. The tip is gone on this one. Back. Good. Not terrible. That one was a little dull. This one's a little bit dull. None of these are real bad. I must have cut 1 tank with this and shut it off. A lot of times I can go with 2 tanks on clean wood, but this is how fast it goes, sharpening. 42 teeth on a 24-inch bar. Tip's gone on that one. It's back. And as far as a guide, they do have a guide you can use. I just look at the witness mark in the back. That tip is gone on that one. There's a witness mark. You just line it up with that line. It's pretty simple. And I don't care if I'm 1 degree or 2 degrees off. The wood doesn't care. It gets cut. 1 or 2 degrees is not going to make a big difference. That tip is gone on this one. Yeah, it's back. There we go. And if you slip off, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't hurt anything. This is not that aggressive of a grinder. Well, these aren't terrible. We're done. Faster than hand filing by a lot. All right, so there it is. These are all sharpened. We're ready to go cut tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm leaving in the morning. Might not cut until the afternoon, but it might be on tomorrow's video. But I got one other video to shoot yet today for you guys because I know you like videos. So it might be in a couple days. Like I said, I've got these available if you guys are interested in these little vices like I got right here. I got a few left. If you're interested, just email my boss. That'd be Mary, my wife. At maryinthewoodyard@gmail.com. They're $80 a piece plus whatever it is for shipping. If you want one, it's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. But they do work really well. And then you just mount them on whatever board you want. So there you go. That's all I got for today, folks. I'll see you tomorrow morning in the woods, in the woodyard. Good night, Irene.